You are live. Okay, let me hold on a second so that I can check on YouTube. Is this all working properly?
Oh, let me tune to your channel so I can see.
Yep, I hear myself. There we go. Mute. Okay, here we go. We have 9 people watching now in the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, lovers. Hello, everyone. Um, uh, Welcome to round 2. I'm calling it rounds because we're having tea session. So it's not an episode, it's a round. We're going to do second round of TarotTube and Tea tonight. And we have the first 3 original esteemed guesses that gathered by Mr. Zach over at the Tigers of Bliss, me, Y, over here at On the Cusp Tarot, and then we have Zach over at the Tigers of Bliss. We have Annika at Nobody Here 2020, and we have Lucy over at Lucy AcquaLuna. Is that right?
Yes.
Yes. Here we go. Oh my God, 15 people. Let's go around quickly just to tell who you are, what your channel is about, and what did you have for lunch today?
Okay.
Lucy, go first.
Okay. So my channel is Lucy AcquaLuna. It's about witching and tarot stuff, or whatever is on my mind, really. And what I had for lunch today: chicken, yummy chicken.
Chicken. Okay, next, let's do Zach.
All right, hello everyone. My name is Zach from the Tigers Abyss. You've seen me on Y's channel recently in live chats and all that, and I do live tarot readings. I've used to do unboxings and reviews, and I talk about tarot, and I want to do tarot educational content, and sometimes, in rare occasions, spill some tea. Sometimes. And for lunch, I had a veggie burger. That's what I had. Veggie burger and what else? I'm pretty sure a salad on the side.
Well, clearly somebody's healthy over there. Healthy. Okay, Mr. Healthy. A veggie burger and a salad. Oh my God. All right, last but not least, Annika, what's up with you?
Sorry about the dryer. I forgot to turn it off. And sorry about the kettle. I've just turned it off. My tarot friends call me Annika. My channel is called Nobody Here 2020. It used to be called Nobody Here. I tried to change it to Murasaki and Company, but no one remembers it, and most people can't pronounce it. So I'm back with Nobody Here 2020. What am I doing on my channel? I don't know. I do whatever I want, whenever I want on my channel. At the moment, I am back in the tarot sphere on YouTube because I would like to promote my Instagram, my collection for sale, through which I am liquidating my tarot collection in several phases. Now is phase 1. Next year is phase 2. Thank you.
What did you have for lunch? Or
yes,
yeah, you had lunch, right? Yeah.
I should have had lunch. It's 2:30 here, but I actually haven't. So I had late breakfast. It's oatmeal with milk and walnuts and palm sugar.
For me, you know who I am. Boop. I don't need to introduce myself because I'm famous. Thank you. What I had for lunch was Burger King. That's it, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who are in between. Burger King. I have a bacon cheeseburger. All toxic is inside my body right now. Thank you. But I did get the COVID-19 testing today done. You're welcome. Okay. Enough about me. So let's do a little recap on last round of the TarotTube and Tea over at the Tigers of Bliss channel. So Mr. Zach has an idea. I want to talk about the current TarotTube community happenings, let's put it that way, and because we are doing it privately, right? So he was like, let's do it publicly because we have so many great points to point out, and he wants to do it right away. And I was like, let's get more people, let's get to more not just you and me talking about stuff, actually have a panel and actually have a discussion. And here we are. So last round we talked about kind of TarotTube personalities and the ethics of what is good, quote unquote, or ethical to put out there, and how to behave. I don't want to say how to behave because then we are the police. How should you behave, right? But like, what do we behave? How about that? How do we behave? How do we use our channel to amplify the voices? Which leads to a 2-hour discussion. The links is down below if you want to watch it, round 1. And there's other stuff in between also about goals. What are goals? What are goals versus achievement? And then we also talk about tarot. I can't pronounce it once again. Tarot influencer. Influencer. Tarot influencer versus tarot creator. TarotTube content creator. What are the differences, right? Are we on the edge, on the roll, kind of like the makeup community that we are pushing into the influencer genre, right? Which leads to today's discussion about accountability, right? So let's just go around on talking about your own channel, because Annika, let's go with Annika first. As she mentioned at the beginning, her channel is about, I want to do what I want to do, whenever I want to do, I'm just going to show up. And half of her live chat is literally, no one is there. You just stare at her laundry dryer or whatever. So let's give the stage to Annika and kind of talk about what your channel, like, how do you use your channel first of all in the past, and how do you hold yourself accountable when you put out your own content? How about that?
Yes. Okay. So I don't have specific. I really honestly don't. So my channel is used for whatever it is at the time. So at the very start, I think I've alluded to it in our last chat on Tigers Abyss. I was mainly here to connect to people, and then after that, mainly to socialize and collect tarot, specifically the historical facsimile and investigating the history of tarot or the history of the printing of tarot in a lot of cases. And then after that, I was just sort of floating around, and I started doing live chats because I don't know, I fell into it. And to comment on you saying that most of the times it's like that, I didn't that wasn't part of any planned branding or anything. And I know you guys often joke that it's part of the brand. It's kind of, it works really nicely with the title of the channel, but because I think I used to do this with family and friends who are far away. I have my family and friends, my social networks all over the world. And so we often catch up like this on Skype or Facebook, or WhatsApp or whatever. So I think I am treating my live chat like when I'm catching up with family and friends, which is why when I do live chats, if I'm on my pajamas, I'm on my pajamas. I don't put on makeup. My hair is whatever I was at the time. There I was, because it's more like that. It's more like a personal Skype call with friends and family. It feels to me like that anyway. Accountability. The only one example I can think of with regards to TarotTube, Tarot, YouTube, and whoops, sorry about that, is with out of print decks. When we first started vlogging back in 2015, 2016, I think tarot collecting is quite new, at least on YouTube, at least on the tarot people on YouTube. So there's always contention about collecting, whether it's good for you and all that, because it's supposed to be spiritual. So if you're collecting, using, and not really using it to read, whether it's good or not. I came in from a collecting sort of world. So for me, it's not even something I think about, but accountability came in the form of making your fellow community member or your fellow tarot enthusiast stumble with regards to addictive behaviors and perhaps financial challenges. So the thing is, no one hold me accountable. That's the thing. So I want to say that so I hold myself accountable by not showing out of print expensive decks necessarily. When I do, it's for the purposes of comparison. Let's say, oh, the special edition Playing Marseille, it looks like this. The mass produced looks like that. If you're trying to choose, this is where things are at. So I did that. But other than that, and if I do, I often feel really anxious because I'm holding myself accountable. No one is, but I feel really anxious every time I post something that is deemed a bit either out of print or a bit, how should I put it? I don't know what the word is, but a bit out there. So you are not your brother's keeper, somebody said. So I hold myself accountable in that, on the one hand, you cannot be responsible for other people's action, but for your part of it, I am holding myself accountable because otherwise no one else will. And it is for my own sense of integrity that I do not want to let my fellow, people who I supposed to have a level of care for. And so that's how I do it. Other than that, I can't think of any other example, not at the moment.
Great. Do you have anything to add? Do you have anything to say, Zach or Lucy? Or should I jump in on mine? I'll jump in on mine. Because along the line about financial oversharing, the addiction of purchasing deck and showing all my decks to everyone, I hesitate. Sometimes I do hesitate about, oh my God, you are doing my very first video on my channel is massive. It's a massive unboxing video. 3 videos of massive unboxing. And that started my channel, and it jumped off with my editing and all this madness, right? So in a way, it is kind of my brand, right? Because I want to share, like, I love tarot. It is my new journey. It's helping me through my, my personal struggle. And I'm having all these collections, and I want to share the joy of opening and reviewing, I can't say it. Reviewing, not review, but reviewing. I can't say it, whatever. The deck that I got, right? But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, girl, if one people kind of like, oh my God, if Y can do it, I'm going to do it too. I'm going to max out my credit card. I don't know that. I don't know that will happen, right? But in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh my God, should I not do it? But that's my brand. That's what I like to do. And that's part of my joy to share those moments with you, right? So lately, I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do it this often. Maybe I should scale it down. What is the fine line between oversharing and being toxic or polluting the TarotTube atmosphere to actually genuinely sharing, right? Do I need to just do 1 mega review a month, then every other 2 weeks, right? What is too much? So I'm consciously focusing on what my content putting out there, is it doing a service to people? Because this is a public platform. And then go back to one of the videos that I've done, the apology video about using the quote, spirit animal, right? And a lot of discussion on that video. Why do you need to apologize? The term has been has been around forever. You don't need to apologize, or I'm sure in Chinese we have the term in Chinese spirit animal for sure. Of course, I feel like I can use it also, but I am living in America. I do have Native American friends. And if any one of them saw my video using that term for quote unquote fun and they got offended, I feel obligated to apologize to them, even for the one person, just one person, because they took it so seriously, right? So I feel like I am responsible for hurting that one person, and I need to apologize. And I want to put it out there because I want to hold myself accountable for what I have said and done in the past video. So I'm consciously focusing on what have I put out there in the public platform. Is it serving people? Am I hurting people? Am I misleading people? Is it of value? That's my spiel. Boop.
Okay, I'll take it. So, accountability. I think I took some notes. So I think, like, first and foremost, it's important to hold ourselves accountable. And by accountable, no, I mean being responsible specifically, no, in this conversation topic for the content that we're uploading. I don't think accountable is like it's the same as giving explanations, because for explanations I like to go by the saying like your friends don't need it and your enemies won't believe it. So I don't feel it's about explaining ourselves, but being responsible for our actions, being honest, being sincere, and being kind. To me, that's like how I hold myself accountable. Also by admitting my mistakes. I've made plenty of mistakes, no? And recognizing them is like a big part of holding myself accountable. And also intentions versus actions. So if I hurt someone, no, by something I said or something I showed or did, and maybe that was not my intention, I can talk to the person, no, or to the group of people that were affected, like in your example way, and I can explain like, oh, like, sorry, that wasn't not my intention, but they are say it, no, like my first word was sorry, because I can recognize, no, that my words hurt someone, and it not like, even if it wasn't my intention, I can apologize because of that. It was not my intention. So I think it's like clarifying some of the actions that you do and getting them in line with your intentions. And sorry, Zach, and we have some questions on chat as well.
Okay, Zach, what do you think? What is your 2 cents, 5 cents, 6 cents?
So, for accountability, I have no notes on this. I'm winging this. Let's see what comes out of my mouth. That I think I should be holding myself accountable with what I say and what I upload, because it is my content, and I have to be aware of what I'm uploading. If like I'm kind of agreeing with everything that Annika and Y and Lucy have all said. It's like, it's understanding that what we put out there has an impact. The intention that you have, it doesn't really matter, honestly. But you do have to clarify, But it's like sometimes even if you make that intention clear, people will still take it the other way, So, when it comes to accountability and like this is like on the back of my mind. It's like accountability, but how would we hold ourselves accountable? No, how would we be held accountable as currently, I think, and it's not the best way, is holding ourselves accountable, especially and knowing when we made a mistake, like Lucy said, and knowing when we slipped up and being honest about that. And that's one of the things that I tend to look out for and be open to is when someone says, hey, that would, you kind of fucked up there, especially from my friends or my family, especially when they say, I try to take that to heart. And I'm sure I've made my mistakes on my channel, and I'm sure I've uploaded things like my videos. I still haven't done it. I still haven't gone through my videos and changed them from reviews to walkthroughs or first impressions. You see, so that right there, it's like, and like low key in the back of my head, I'm kind of like, I want someone to comment and like tell me. And that's one of the things. Audience response is another thing that like I'm like kind of expecting the audience to call me out on shit. So if I do mess up or I do fuck up, I want them to like call me out on it. Kind of.
Annika might have something to say to call you out on right now.
What?
Are you finished? Because I'm not gonna cut you off. Hold on. No, but what they don't though, do they, Zach? They don't call you out though.
They don't. I always record on of course it's right here in front of me. I usually record and stream on this. Okay. Yeah. And when I would stream, I would have my earphones plugged in and it would record with my mic. Stream after stream after stream. No one told me, it's nothing that it was nothing horrible. It's just terrible audio. It made like this weird high-pitched note. And I one time went back to my live stream and I'm hearing it and I'm like, what the hell? What am I listening to? And then and I said, are you guys hearing this? And they're like, yeah, we are. I'm like, why didn't you guys tell me? I would have. They didn't. Either they didn't care or they thought, I don't know what they thought. Did they think they were going to get mad at me or something?
I have to pick this up. Sorry. I have a few things to add. I'll come back later.
But, it's like, go why?
That is the fine line, though. You want people to call you out, right? You want people to call you out. But there is, I personally do not have the bravery to call someone out unless it's under my sexualities. Not sexuality, how do you say it? Girl, ooh, this chat always thirsty. My specialty,
specialties.
Yeah, specialties. Like, ooh, girl. Like, if I don't have that specialty, if I don't know it in depth, I am not gonna call people out. Like, sure, like your mic is having problem, boobly bap, right? But like regarding on tarot, I am not the king of tarot. I might be the king of tarot hall, but I you know what I'm saying though? Like maybe I can comment on theatrical production, right? Because I'm a theater person. Maybe I can talk about, video production, editing or whatever, because I learned how to do things, right? I can talk about humor, what is funny and what is not funny, because I actually went to school and study it, right? But it is my place. It's my place to point at you and say, Zach, I think you were trying to be funny, but that was not funny at all. Let me tell you why. A, because of this, and B, because of that, and C, because of that. That's why you are not funny. Bye. You know what I'm saying?
I also understand that it's like, again, the balance and the fine line, as the saying goes, like he who is free of sin can throw the first stone. And I think in this TarotTube world of the tarot sphere, we try to is that bothering me? And we try to do the shadow work, are those projections? Why is it bothering me? And as I say, it's like, is it my place to call someone out? And sometimes I feel like it depends how you do it and where is it coming from. For example, I feel like with my friends, and my family, I'm coming from a place of love, hey, I care about you, so I'm calling you out, trying to say hey, maybe you shouldn't have said that because it was offensive, or I'm just putting an example out there. But from someone that I don't know, then it's like, is it my place to call them out? I don't know, no, because I don't know their intentions. I don't know them. I don't know like why are they doing this or like where are they coming from? And it's like who am I, right, to start calling people out if I'm not doing it from a place of I don't know, of goodness. I don't know. That sounds like very pompastic. I don't know.
But it is true, though. It is absolutely true, because you don't know what the people's intention. You don't know their style. You don't know their humor. You don't know their intentions behind the video. Is it because they want to actually have a genuine connection? Are they getting clicks, views? Are they being scandalous? Are they just being fake? Like, we don't know that. But I want to address one of the comments that Jamie Kelly has. But you should be able to share what you want and how you want, as folks are responsible for their own toxic behavior. Completely correct. Otherwise, you're censoring yourself, right? Correctly. It's such a fine line, right? Because I can say, you know what, this is my brand. I'm just going to say the F word every 5 seconds and you deal with it. Take it or leave it, right? So if that's my channel and that's my aesthetic and that's my whatever, where's the fine line, you know? Like, and then if it's offensive to Zach and Lucy, can they call me out and say, dude, you are saying the F word every 5 seconds and it's offensive, this is not cool? And then I can say, but that's my brand, deal with it, take it or leave it. Where's the fine line, right? Who wants to speak? Girl, who wants? I'm not talking all night.
Sorry,
Here we go.
I just came back, so I kind of missed a bit of the conversation, but just quickly, I want to add something in terms of what I've done. You know, I hold myself back. Yeah, so self-censoring is part of it. Somebody, I'm sorry, I'm not used to this. The message, something to do with self-censoring. If nobody else is going to hold you accountable, and I think there's a kind of a subculture in the sort of tarot community as well. People are very hesitant to be confrontational, right? And those people in the tarot community who are confrontational are not very well liked, because they're really like, you know, and the thing is, and I hate to use the label mainstream, okay? If you've lived in the mainstream world, which most of us have, honestly, it's part of that. It's not being aggressive, but somebody push you, push back. Somebody push you, push back. You know, you throw an argument, you argue back. And if you concede to saying, it's my mistake, it's my mistake. But so then you have to self-censor. If you care for the people, care is the wrong word, but if you make yourself accountable to the people in a community, and for me personally, as a functioning community, one of the elements that is important is accountability. Without accountability, do you really have a community? So for a long time, if you've seen some of my videos, a lot of the times I said this loosely defined community. I've never used the word community because in the back of my mind, I've always think, is this a community? Because no one's really accountable to anybody. That was my experience and my perception of TarotTube between end of 2015 to recently, right? So for 4 or 5 years here, my conclusion have remained that we are essentially a self-censoring in terms of accountable to yourself. And then you measure how, in my experience, you are left to measure for yourself how you choose to be accountable to your community, and then you do that yourself. Does that make any sense? No one come up to you and say, wait, hold on a second, you know, you're accountable to me, you've got to explain this. No, I found myself personally, from my experience and my channel, and doing this, is that I have to do it myself. So yes, self-censoring. And the other thing that I did, which I want to add, in 90, oh my God, my age, 10 decades, you guys. I keep losing 10 decades. I was going to say 97. No, 2017, I did a video because I saw somebody who I considered to be a tarot friend or a member of the tarot community that I sort of felt at the time I belonged to. There's a couple of us talking, and then the other person said, you know, that person, I think that person is in trouble because that person can't seem to control themselves, because they set themselves to do only this much acquisition, and then they found themselves acquiring more and more and more. I personally felt that it's not my place, because given the culture of TarotTube at the time, it wasn't my place to say anything. But somebody else came to me and said, I'm really concerned. Do you think we should talk to them? And I said, I don't know, I really don't know. Oh, but, so I did a video. So what I did was, and this is how I self-censorship, one. Two, holding myself back is an essence self-censorship. So that's the same thing. But the second thing I did was I share the knowledge that I have about addictive behavior and how you could manage or be aware of it, how you can pinpoint, that first you have obsessive and then you have this compulsion. Compulsion means that by the time you acquire something, you're no longer enjoying the something that you acquire, but you are compelled. You are compelled to carry on with the behavior because it's taken a life of its own, correct? So I was explaining that. I said, and then I talk about, you could still find it on my channel if you do a channel search under harmful dysfunction. So my contribution to my accountability to my quote unquote community at the time was to contribute this. This is what I think, okay? Nobody have the right to judge. So this is very specific to me, out of print decks, expensive acquisition, addictive behavior, financial situation, and all this, right? So that's very specific to that situation. Within this context, I said in this video, nothing is good or bad, because $1,000 for somebody could be cheap. $100 for somebody could be very expensive. And so it's not only dysfunctional that you have to look at, but if it's harmful. So until you see harmful dysfunction, once you spot that, that's a problem. But if you don't see it in your life and you're spending $1 million on tarot decks a year, if there's no harm and there's no dysfunction, then it's okay. So my other way of being accountable to my community is not only self-censorship and holding myself back, but also talking about how we can all be safe together. Do you know what I mean? So that's another way. And interestingly, though, speaking about accountability in the community and people not really wanting to talk about certain things, people don't want to confront certain things. The person that the other, there's one person who came to me and said, I'm really worried about this other person. Okay, so there's 3 people here. The person who we were worried about in the end did not respond at all. Do you know what I mean? So basically it fell on deaf ears. So then how far, and then to Y's point, how far do you take this? At which point do you stop being responsible? At which point do you say, and now I can do what I want?
Completely agree. I think Zach has something to say. What do you have to say, girl? She's ready. Miss Zachary is ready.
I am seeing self-censorship, and I am thinking, okay, this isn't like some 1984, type of dictatorship tyranny over the self. This is more self-control when we say self-censorship. And self-censorship isn't something so bad. Because here's what happens when you don't have self-censorship and you don't have people, even friends and family, holding you accountable. Logan Paul, a few years ago, Suicide Forest, filmed the dead body, uploaded it onto YouTube. Okay? Nobody told him. They edited that. They traveled to Japan. They recorded it. They had that footage for I don't know how long. They edited it, and they even uploaded it. And that takes time, and no one ever thought, even from the very minute it was uploading, that they could stop it. Did anyone say, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't show that? Maybe we should cut that out. Maybe we should censor that. So that right there is where there's no accountability being said. And that is the danger of not, unfortunately, rocking the boat. And that's one of the things that a lot of people in the tarot community don't like to do. They don't like to rock the boat. But unfortunately, the waters aren't always going to be calm, and storms are going to come. And we can't, stop the boat from rocking.
But that's the thing, though. If one of I don't want to say, well, I'm just going to say it. If I like to use right? If I decided to go, you know what? I want the clicks. I want the subscriber. I want the money. I want the influence. I want to make the big buck. I am going to do the most outrageous TarotTube video, kind of on the same line as dangerous as the Logan Paul video, whatever that is, like completely offensive, completely like, oh my God, why? That's not you at all. What happened to you? And then I can say, you know what? But that's my intention. I want to get the clicks. I want to get the dislike. I want to get the engagement, right? So is that okay for TarotTube to have that behavior?
If we say it's not okay, it's irrelevant. People are going to do it anyway. It's irrelevant. It's the wrong question, right? Like, this is why I said it at the beginning when we were chatting among ourselves. I said, what accountability? And I had this image of myself saying, accountability, no, there is none. Bye. And then I'll just leave, because that's the end of the story. Because I don't think there is, because I had this conversation with somebody who's, I don't know whether they're watching or not. I remember saying accountability has to be present in a real community, and there's just no response. And this person is one of those people who I connect with, and we talk, that sort of thing. And it's like you cluster among yourselves, like the four of us, or the two of them, or the five of them. And within themselves, there's this almost like a tie that is closer than the community in large. And then there's accountability between those little clusters, like between us. There's accountability, right? Because if you want to say something, then I say, hold on a second. How about this, right? Because we're comfortable with each other. I have the audacity to say, no, hold on a second. You said this, but, and then we've had that yesterday, right? But in the TarotTube community or in YouTube as a whole, I don't know who Logan whatever is, and I don't know who Sean something is, and I don't know who Jeffrey whatever is. But I hear about them. I don't watch those people's channel, and I hear about them. And usually it's because something messy had happened. And usually something messy had happened because they got away with so much. They got away with so much. And it's usually because they have several million subscribers and they're making somebody money somewhere. And that's not necessarily the case with TarotTube, because people are motivated not necessarily by money, but by other currencies. In my observation, this is a personal opinion, the currency in a community that is centered around spirituality, I do this because I think a lot of people talk spirituality. In my opinion, they're really talking self-help. I don't think that's spirituality. I don't think that qualifies as spirituality, because the focus is helping themselves and not more beyond that, in my opinion. Some, not all. I'm not generalizing. And the currency is emotions. A lot of the currency is emotions, such as validation, self-worth, companionship, feeling less alone in things. And that's me. Like when I came into the scene, it was because a lot of us are grieving over something. Huge loss. Huge shift in our lives, and we all came together, and the currency was emotional currency, not necessarily financial. And so, but that's currency that you're exchanging, uploading yourself, as Zach was saying. And so going back to the accountability, I don't think there is any. I think the accountability that exists is the only accountability that each of us are making sure, based on personal integrity, that we are accountable to ourselves and to our community without being asked. And there are those, to prove my point, I think, in a way, or a case in point, I shouldn't say prove myself. A case in point is that several people who decided that they are not accountable to their community in a certain way, and no one have hold them accountable. You try to hold them accountable, you'll be annihilated, especially if you're a small channel. You'll be chased out of YouTube, because you are rocking the boat. Am I correct or not? I mean, some of you here know exactly what I'm talking about and do not insult my intelligence by pretending you don't know what I'm talking about.
Of course we know, because I've been there. Like, I think we have all been there. Lucy and Zach and many others in the chat right now that has experienced that. I'm sure. Like, we see something that like, that's a little shady. That's not ethical. That's right. I failed to call them out, I would say, because I am worried that A, it's not my place, and B, if that's their brand, let them be, right? I'm just gonna do me, and I'm just gonna be clean and happy and yada yada yada. But then now it's getting to a point that I don't want to say so many because it's over exaggerating. There's other channels, there's other creators that are pushing to get views and get clicks and subscribers, or aiming to get that, right? And like, should we call them out? And then of course there's bigger issue, right? Black Lives Matter, racism, like all these huge issue, right? Like, should we make video? Should we rock the boat? Should we take our stand? Where's the fine line on those? Will I get backslash, right? Is that the right word? Backslash, and say, how dare you, and boobly bap, and we hate you, right? Like, would that ever happen? And not saying that I like, if it happens, it happens, because I have my integrity. I'm taking a stand is necessary, but also at the same time, like, what makes me qualify to say those things, right? Like, I can't just jump on everything and say, well, that's wrong. I'm not the police of tarot. I'm not a tarot police, right?
So I remember, was it a call out? It was more like, it's an okay thing to say that it is, but I once uploaded a video, and it wasn't so much as a chastisement or a punishment to the person that the video wasn't subject to, but I did upload a video where I said, it's like, essentially what I was saying was, doing TarotTube or spiritual, type of content on YouTube at the moment isn't going to bring you the big numbers. It's not going to bring you the big numbers, and beating yourself up over it isn't gonna help you. And it's that really isn't what that community, the community was about, so I thought. And it's like, so, and when I did that video, I did get that backlash, and I did get people saying, who are you to police or to say, and the conversation shifted to that, monitoring, policing, they're trying to censor YouTube. It's like, YouTube is YouTube. It's about, and it's like, no, censor yourself. Be mindful of what you're uploading. Know what you're striving for. Don't put people on pedestals. But then again, if you do put people on pedestals, that you're kind of like holding them accountable for something, but yet they don't. They're not putting them on pedestals. They're putting them on altars. Sometimes quite literally.
Literally. All right, Miss Lucy, you have been quiet. You are not off the hook. You must speak. Lucy, is your turn. Go.
Yes, in this sense, as you said, no, like holding accountable other people versus like movements, as you said, no. For example, to me, it's like, pick your battles, no, and what do I stand for? So when I see Black Lives Matters, I'm like, that resonates with me in like such a vast level that I feel almost compelled, and I want to, and I don't want to say I enjoy it, but I will say I'm proud of standing for Black Lives Matter. I'm proud of standing for the LGBT plus community. And you make those broad statements, no? Like, this is where I stand, no? I stand for the LGBT plus community. I stand for Black Lives Matter. But then what happens when you see someone being racist? What happens when you see someone being homophobic? Do you call them out? You don't, and that's when these issues start. No, like, are we the police of these movements? No, but do we, like, let me put an example with a friend. I was talking to a friend. No, we are Mexican people, and we are like on the whitish spectrum. We're not white, American white, but we do have that light skin tone privilege. And I was telling him, like, do you realize that we also enjoy this white skin privilege? And he was very offended, and he was very reactive. And honestly, I got a little scared, no? Like, hey, this is my friend. I'm talking to him as a friend for many years that I love very much, and that I'm not trying to offend him. I'm just trying to raise awareness into see how this is affecting the world, no? Because I want this to move into a more accepting, no, in community, into a more diverse community, into a fair game, or like a fairer game for all skin color types. But like, if I see someone that I don't know on YouTube or on Facebook or in whatever, well, we're referring to YouTube, like, I don't know if I should call them out or not. That's the issue.
See, where was I? Oh my God. I have 2-3 things going on at the moment. So about racism, right? Black Lives Matter, my blood was boiling to a point where I can't think straight. And my question, holding myself accountable, was, should I do a video? And you know what I asked myself? To what end? To what end? Am I going to progress the conversation further, or am I simply going to satisfy myself and pat myself in the back and say, I've done that video, I'm a good person? I know I'm a good person. I have a lot of things to say, but I'm biased. I am where I am now, and I have made up my mind about what YouTube is and what YouTube isn't. And I have decided that it is for something this important, personally for me, especially when I don't know who my audience is right now, because nobody here is kind of over, really. For me, it's a waste of that effort should be placed elsewhere, right? But you guys are different, right? Your channel are different. You are still in there or whatever. Okay, I mean, I've been around for what, 5 years. I'm kind of at the tail end of it, and so I choose to. That's how I remain accountable to what am I going to be doing, because in the past people would brought up issues, and it has the appearance of doing the right thing. It has the appearance of talking all the right talking points, all the hot button issues. Tick, tick, tick. They're talking about it. And what I found, though, either they're empty words, it's all the right words, and it means absolutely nothing, or it contributed nothing, or it muddled things more. So people left that conversation being absolutely muddled, aggravated, very emotional, but less clear about what they're talking about. And I do not want to be one of those people, because I'm emotional myself. I'm gonna, So this is not for me, right? If I want to vent, I'll go and vent somewhere else. If you have a platform, not that I'm saying I have a platform, but speaking of accountability, it is implied in that is that people who have platform, have followers, have significant level of voice, where if you say something, it's going to impact somebody somewhere one way or another, correct? We're talking of larger YouTuber or those who have worked towards a higher platform. And I want to quote what happened to Zach. That was Zach trying to be accountable to a fellow member of the community. He was trying to say, so-and-so, don't worry about it. Don't be so upset. It's all right. Let me tell you how you can be okay, because a lot of us are here to connect. So don't worry about your sub number. Don't worry about your what do you call it, analytics. No worries about how many people follow you, how many people like you, how many people dislike you. Because we are here, we are connected as a community, and we're all good. That was what he was saying. And somehow that was twisted into a situation where people are saying, who are you, Zach, the Tiger's Abyss, to be telling other people how to conduct their channel? That's Zach trying to keep members of a member that he felt a part of, a community that he thought he was a part of. He was not trying to hold them to account. He was trying to be accountable. As a member of the community, like I am trying to be accountable by not showing expensive, out of print rare decks. Whether my way of being accountable is appropriate or not is a completely different conversation. So going back to what you guys are saying, I maintain that even when you are trying to be accountable for yourself to maintain your integrity, I think the environment on YouTube won't let you. So because my conclusion, my own very skeptical conclusion is that there is none, really. And I am now seeing very people with integrity. Lucy, you know why, Zach? Like Lucy's explaining how, you are, this is what I believe, I'm going to say it. But that's why I'm talking to you guys, I guess. But unfortunately, my opinion is that you can't. There is no accountability. I'm sorry, there isn't any. There's just none. And even when you try to be accountable to somebody else, what happened to Tiger's Abyss was the nail in the coffin for me. And if my video about harmful dysfunction fell on deaf ear to those who most need to hear it, that was just a hint that I was right. What happened to Tiger's Abyss afterwards made my conclusion for me. There is none. And that you should only be accountable to yourself. And then your conscience is clear. And the rest can, yeah. I mean, that's just currently my view on it.
Oh, girl. Everybody grab their tea. Do you have your tea? Ladies and gentlemen, and all those who are in between, please have your tea. And you don't have a tea. That's why I'm calling you out right now. Miss Zachary, I'm calling you out right now. Boycott.
Don't you dare rock the boat. Why? How dare you? How dare you?
Boycott Zachary. Cancel. And I do not
cancel Y for calling me out and rocking the boat. How dare you?
I'm calling myself out because I only have water.
Girl.
Oh, you cannot see it.
That's the one thing. That's one thing that I do completely agree on Annika's point of view, because the intentions behind, I don't even want to say call out, right? If I just make a VR, some kind of response, right? Just kind of like, even in the intention is good on your VR or on your responses. Some other people might take it, oh my God, you are being egotistic. You are being, we cannot completely understand the true intention unless they are absolutely 100% crystal clear. Me right here, I suppose. But like the tone of the video, the way that they speak, are they, is it too angry? Is it too passive aggressive? Is it too catchy? Is it too happy? Right? So we don't know that. So I hold myself back. I always kind of give the benefit of the doubt, right? The benefit of the doubt of certain incident or videos until they prove completely otherwise. Like Annika said, the afterwards, what happened when the attacks comes, when the manipulation, the like, you are not what you seem. Like, you started out to be one thing and then now you are completely a different thing. Unsubscribe. There's many comments in the chat right now. I don't call people. I'll just simply see who you are and I unsubscribe. Great. But then how can we change that dynamic though? How can we actually change the dynamic? We know that this is toxic. We know that what they are doing. We know that they are manipulating the game. This is TarotTube, supposed to be spiritual, supposed to be all calm and don't walk the boat. How should we Make it right. Nobody's going to be able to answer that. It is just a personal question. If you can chime in, give me your 5 cents, 9 cents, 13 cents, or whatever. I would love to hear it.
It sort of reminds me, like, it's unsubscribing. It's weird. It's kind of like it's definitely, to me, turning the blind eye. If you unsubscribe from a fucked up or a toxic channel, you're not going to see the messed up toxic stuff that they're going to do. Like, all of you who don't know who Logan Paul is, I watch a lot of that stuff on YouTube. I watch a lot of this shit, and I see a lot of other YouTubers who go on to, you know, and a lot of their content is about, is about, like, it's not about calling people out, but more like showing, like, Instagram accounts or other YouTube channels or TikTok accounts or whatever. And they say, you know, like kind of making fun of their content and how ridiculous it is. And and when you see, like, the stuff that they're uploading, you're like, that is clownery right there. Like, you can't help but laugh at it, even if their intention is, like, to be comedic or whatever. Sometimes their stuff is just not funny at all, you know. But and there's a lot of channels that do that, and I find it quite entertaining, because it's like, one, it makes me know of, like, of internet people who are, you know, not, you know, that I've never even heard of. But we don't have that here. We don't have, like, I don't go online and I, like, don't, like, show, like, videos or pre-recorded videos of other people's channels and the stuff that they do, and be like, look at how ridiculous this person is, like, look at him, like, you know, or like, what that doesn't make any sense, and then, like, make a joke about it. You know, nobody does that on YouTube, on TarotTube, I should say. But going back to the unsubscribing thing and, like, turning the blind eye, it's kind of like the same thing as, like, to be kind of graphic, unfortunately, but it's the only analogy that kind of fits. It's sort of like coming to your mom about an uncle that molested you or something, and the mom being like, why would you say that about your uncle? How dare you? That is the type of stuff that would happen again back then. And it's the same type of thing that happens the same. How dare you say something about so-and-so's channel? I've only known them as good, and it's like that, you know. It's the closest example I can think of.
Do you have something to say, Annika,
Yeah.
of your
So-
2 other points?
Sorry, the unsubscribed one, you know, this is exactly why there can't be. Because you go in there and then you thought, okay, I don't like this, you unsubscribe, right? And then I've seen some people who engage and said, you know, you're being ridiculous because you're saying this, you're saying that, but, you know, you're actually whatever, you're actually wrong. And then the channel person would say, no, you know, you're whatever, and they clash, and then they say, you feel free to unsubscribe, and they unsubscribe. So either way, the way YouTube is designed, it isn't, as I said, we wanted to have an interesting conversation to go across the aisle, correct? To reach out across and have a conversation. And on YouTube, it's not, for me, I just don't see it, how it's possible, because it is built around the idea of echo chambers where you are burrowing into a tunnel deeper and deeper and deeper with people who are in agreement with you. Because those who are not in agreement with you will self-select out. It is a self-selection. It's the self-selection bias is exactly how YouTube makes money. So instead of people coming into your corner of the pub as you are having a drink to chat, and then started a healthy banter of why you think this and why you disagree, the system, it's unlike a pub. The system is more like a maze where people self-select, and then they gather around those who are in agreement with them, and therefore less likely to disagree, and therefore it is less likely for people to reach across different opinion groups. Does that make any sense? And so there's no accountability, perhaps by implication, of that very design of the platform that we're on. Or maybe it's a function of the subculture of TarotTube. I have no idea. But I remain in my conclusion that there is no accountability. I saw Moon Baby said that basing on all this discussion on how, oh, there it is, we perceive or want TarotTube to be. TarotTube is something different to everyone in the tarot community. That's why there can't be any accountability.
Which is, I think, is partly true, because there's different tastes in anything, you know. Like the people that I subscribe and keep watching, I enjoy those people. I think that they are real, and the content that they put out is an educational. It's good for my soul, it's good for my spirit, it's good for me, right? And then I see other people that are like, not my cup of tea. I'm either stay subscribed and not watch it or unsubscribe whatsoever, right? So, but then when certain event or certain video that blatantly goes against my belief of like, this is a little bit too far. This is like for my dignity, for my personal whatever, like, belief, that I'm like, if I don't call them, ooh girl, slip, call them out, she, her, me, boop, yeah, whatever. Oh my god, like, do I have to hold myself also accountable? Like, well, girl, this is against your belief. Like, why are you not doing something about it, right? But then also go back to TarotTube. It is just TarotTube. Like, you have better things to do. Go out and protest. Go out and march, right?
This is exactly.
Like, where's the fine line? I know that we are going circle and circle, but I think what we want to do is have this. I'm calling this is the view of TarotTube. 4 beautiful ladies just talking about talking about stuff, and then everybody in the chat can chime in, and it's a safe place. This is a safe place. I want to keep this as a safe place for us to kind of exchange dialogue, not toxic, and just productive. At the end of the day, we want things to be productive, not a witch hunt, not pointing fingers. But what can we move TarotTube or even YouTube or anything, spirituality, tarot in general, nature, towards a better, healthier, not click.
I think we are trying to make to take what Moon Baby said further. I actually think that we are probably making YouTube what it's not, because another case in point, for example, you said just now, if there is a video that is, you feel it's not right, and you go there and you sort of address it or something, right? By addressing the problematic video, you're increasing their algorithm and you're spreading it around even more. You see what I mean? So let's say there is a hate speech, and then you are reacting to this hate speech. You're sending people over more to that video. How are you going to react to a video without actually increasing the circulation of the video that you are reacting against? Or I'm not necessarily saying that taking into account is always going to be reacting against something. Let's say calling out or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you know what I mean? For me, it feels like the inherent nature of self-development, alternative spirituality, this sort of focus theme is incompatible with how YouTube is currently. Because in the past, I think the pagan communities, I think the tarot community is probably an offshoot of it. Probably, I don't know. I wasn't here then. But I am basing on a lady whose channel name is Good Wife. I don't follow her, but I stumbled across a video of hers who talked about how YouTube was before, and I alluded to this format of YouTube before that is more conducive to communal interaction. In that sense, perhaps the design is different. Back in the day, in 2008, maybe, perhaps the community as ours, which is an offshoot of that sort of self-development, spiritual, focus to aim for the higher good, is incompatible with how YouTube is currently designed. The case in point, I'm sorry, I'm repeating myself because I feel so strongly about this. Like what you said, right? We are speaking out against something or a video, a problematic, and then you ended up promoting it. So then how do you do it?
Maybe we swing in the different direction, because as you said, if we are engaging more with the problematic behavior or what we consider problematic, we're actually like promoting it. No, like promoting it with dislikes or whatever, but promoting it nevertheless. So I was thinking, what if we push in the other direction of creating more of the content that we do want to see, no, into supporting more new channels that are making content that we can relate to. I'm just throwing this idea out there.
Yes, mama. Yes,
Thank
mama.
you, Lucy. Thank you for pointing that out, because I would like to share there is this therapy that I learned ages ago called solution focused brief therapy. So a lot of psychotherapy and psychiatry came out of a disease model. So we diagnose the disease and then we target the disease. Solution focused brief therapy is you identify the solution. You identify what is working in the system of this human being, and then you target that. Thank you, Lucy, for for reminding us in all of this cynicism. And I am in a cynical place on YouTube, so I'm just being very frank about that, right? So I'm jaded, and so my point of view is very clouded by what I think about it at the moment. But yes, I think what Lucy said had occurred to me in my head, and that was the only way to go forward. So you do what's right by you. You do what is in line with your personal integrity, your values, your authenticity, whatever that word means, and you just keep at it. And you stay on your lane. And this is why, going back to the accountability issue, not issue, sorry. Do you know what I mean? Why? And this is why, if the solution is you stick on your lane, then you can only be accountable. We're back where we started, which is you can only be accountable to yourself. Really. Because the community does not want your accountability.
So well, then I hope that they watch this video, and then they're like, they're gonna have a good sleep, and they kind of think about, okay, or not, whatever, because we're gonna, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, and all those who are in between and who are watching right now, we're gonna drown them out. We're gonna put all our energy into like amazing, yummy, gooey, beautiful, good content, and genuinely good content out there that is gonna flood the gate with amazingness. That's I'm completely opposite from Annika right there, because maybe I'm just still young. Thank you so much. I'm just like very young to TarotTube and stuff, so I still believe that that's like a way, that I'm not that jaded, yeah, because I'm so young, right? And I do hope that it will. I'm hopeful. I'm I'm like a hopeless romantic anyway. So I do hope that you'll get there. And but hey, if you're watching right now, if you do want to come for me, please do.
Okay, so I'm like reading the chat. So much has happened since my last comment. But an example of being held accountable, I guess, being checked right there. So when I said that, molestation analogy, D-Nation just said, "Oh no, that's not a good analogy." Sorry, and then I reflected back on that, and I'm like, maybe it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't a good one, but that was the only one that came to my head. And also, I should already apologize, because I should have said, a trigger warning of some sort, for that, and it's like, so I'm sorry if, that triggered anything, and also there's probably like 20 other better analogies that I can think of, but it's the only one that like came to my mind, but just to finish off on, unsubscribing, and a lot of the comments seem to say that unsubscribing seems to work. I've seen channels prove that wrong. shit hits the fan for them and they honestly shouldn't be watched anymore, my opinion, but it's a pretty good one. And I unsubscribed from them, and a lot of people have unsubscribed from them. And then tell you what, they still gain subscribers because guess what? TarotTube is growing, and new people are coming in. So if we don't, if we stay silent about it, it kind of lets the new people who come in not know what's going on, and they're able to go into this channel and be like, oh, this channel's fantastic. Oh my gosh, such great content. That, like, so unproblematic. Oh, the tarot community is so drama free. And it's like, because people are silent about it and they don't call people out. I could have easily just like, you know, gone off on divination and, you know, be like, no, you're right. But it's like, you know, so I'm going to say unsubscribing doesn't really work, but we do have to continue putting up content and, like, you know, drowning them out essentially. And like I kind of said that to someone before, but I guess that kind of that didn't get through to them, unfortunately, and that person ended up going back to that channel that did them dirty like they did to me.
I said I had a live stream which I took it down, or I left it, I can't remember. It's about bystander effect. So around about the same time, I said that the bystander effect is real in this community, and that is true in the real world. It is usually a function of power. It's a function of power structure. I realize we're hitting about an hour, and I think that has to be a topic for another day. But accountability is not possible, in my opinion, without taking into consideration the power dynamic, because it resulted in things like bystander effect. Just to take a further point that Zach was trigger warning about just now. But I want to go back to what Lucy said, because I think it's really important, because I think I ultimately come to the same conclusion. You do you. But that bystander effect really bothers me, though, which is why what Lucy said also resonated with me. You know, when Lucy said something about if there's racism, you know, do you say it? For me personally, my personal approach is do you, which is why I said I do whatever I want whenever I want. I take myself accountable to myself. And if something is wrong, I think it goes back to your personal integrity, and just stick to it. And if your personal integrity demanded that you be accountable, then you do what you can. If your personal integrity demanded that you say something, whether it's YouTube or somewhere else. For me personally, that place is no longer YouTube, because I am no longer invested, because I'm no longer feeling like I am part of this community. So I've disengaged. So I no longer feel the need to come here and be accountable, or, you know what I mean, or do all this. But I'm still interested in the topic because I'm quite fond of some of you, right? And you guys are still here. Yeah, I think I'm just very aware that it's already an hour. If we are chatting again, we can talk about that. But I think that is kind of my concluding thoughts really for the moment. I want to thank you, Lucy, again for reminding me about that, about, you know, focusing on what's working for you.
Beautiful, beautiful. And hour and 13, we want to wrap up. We're wrapping up right now. Everybody's going to have a closing statement, and then I'm just going to throw this out there. Hey, chat, what do you want to hear if we are going to do another round of TarotTube and Tea? What do you want to hear? Not, I am single. We can talk about me being single, but that's not really TarotTube. That's more like YTube. So anything, any suggestion, remember, see that if is capitalized. If. All right, while they are commenting that, Zach and Lucy and Annika, if you have anything else to say to close.
And just really quickly, I cannot let this slide, sorry. Moon Baby said, I think we're giving ourselves too much responsibility when it comes to other people's channel. It is not for us to decide what channels need to be canceled. It's not up to us to begin with. I just want to say how close this statement is, Moon Baby, to what had been experienced by Zach, right? Zach was trying to be accountable to, as a member of a community, and do what he felt was right. And he was placed in a position where it sounded like he was telling other people what to do with the channel. Can I repeat that we are not here to tell people what to do with their channel? I don't give a shit what you do with your channel. I don't care. I really don't. I don't think any of us here care. But if we are going to be a part of a member of a community, which I've taken myself out of, but if you are going to be a member of a community, you have to be accountable to each other. Otherwise, is there a community at all? And my argument is that accountability is not possible on YouTube and there isn't a community. So I am being consistent with my argument. So what you're saying here, though, Moon Baby, is not what we're doing here. I repeat, we are not trying to dictate what people do with their channel. They can do whatever the fuck they want. But we are trying to understand if we want to be a part of a productive, productive community that has a relationship with each other. Accountability is one of them. And so this is what we're talking about. This is the kind of community. It's not the kind of channel that we want to see from other people. They can do whatever they want. But if we want to build a real community or be a part of a community, accountability has to be part of the discussion. Otherwise, there isn't one. And I've concluded there isn't one. So no, we are not trying to decide what other channels are doing. Can I get an agreement from everybody here, or am I alone in this?
Oh, absolutely, girl. We are not tarot police. Who am I to say? Like, you do you, girl. But the whole thing about the reason that I choose accountability is because that was the end of the discussion on round one. Like, what is ethics? What are ethics? Like, what is good content? What is not good content? What is, how do you determine, how do you do a review, and what is a good review, and all those criteria, right? And then which will lead to the freedom of, I can say whatever I want because I have, like this background of whatever. I like this deck of whatever. I don't like this deck or whatever, right? So then when you put those video out there, or even this video out here that we are putting it out, like, should we hold accountable of what we just said in the chat live right now? Like, what, like, should we just drop names left and right? Should we, like, what is, I keep saying to the three of them, like, we have to hold accountability of our own action right now also, what we talk about, because this is a public platform. Someone is going to watch it, right? So the discussion is still going to be valid no matter what, because with or without a community, it is a public platform. Someone will watch it. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I'm not, maybe Annika is not going to be the part of the tarot community. What if, one of my friends watch it? Like what? Random person that want to just get into tarot, and they, like, if you are, girl, right there, ladies and gentlemen, all those if you are deciding to get into tarot, you totally should. And you can talk to us, and you can go sample all the channel on TarotTube. It is not that dramatic. I mean, it is, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, to add to that, no, tarot is not just TarotTube. Like, we are like a tiny microscope expression of tarot. No, and there is so much to interact with tarot out there. Now, yes, the tube is wonderful because you get to know people who share a passion or an interest for tarot around the world. No, we have in the US, in New Zealand, in Mexico, and people from all over the world, in chat. That's wonderful. But that just, again, it's like super micro mini tiny.
Which I also want to bring up a point. It is the Wheel of Fortune, that card. It's go around. It's been like, girl, Annika has experienced it. Tigers of Bliss experience it. Lucy experience it. I probably on the edge after this will experience something, but girl, it's fine. It's totally fine. But you know what I'm saying though? Like, if this Wheel of Fortune is gonna keep on turning, like, let's be the chariot. Let's drive it somewhere else, girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, like this. I don't know. I'm being hopeless romantic, being hopeful whatsoever, and maybe it's because I I, I now have seen this 1 year and couple months in this creating tarot YouTubing has I've learned so much. Oh my god, learned so much about personality, about different channel, about what I want to accomplish with my channel and what I like, and that's why I feel compelled in my journey. Yes, I'm using that word in my journey and deal with it. In my journey of TarotTube, that I want to talk about this because this is important. Do I want to stay on TarotTube? Do I want to? Is it hopeful? Am I gonna follow the path of Annika and that guy Bay, right? Or am I gonna change my channel into just doing, tarot reading and whatever? What am I doing with my life? I don't know. But that's why we have this TarotTube and Tea round square table discussion.
Like, we don't know, but it's fun to watch. So thanks for joining. I mean, my wrap-up comment, like, thanks, to Zach, to White, to Aniki. I deeply enjoyed these conversations. More than reaching conclusions is opening now the discussion, the reflection, pondering, debating, and I mean, to chat among us and to bring it, again, as content to the platform for everyone watching. So thanks everyone for watching us.
Zach, you can't be quiet. We're gonna cancel you.
Oh, wait, no, it won't work. You know that.
She's like, is it amoeba? She's like the amoeba that she's gonna keep evolving and back at it. Girl, don't worry. Till the end of time, Zach will still be here.
Yeah. I'm like a roach. You can cut my head off and I'll still keep living, all right? Yeah, I think, wrapping it up. Thank you everyone for stopping by. And I'm thinking, like, wait a minute. Could this be the formation of a, should I say it? Is this?
You're gonna go ahead and say it.
Girl, I think I gotta say it. I think this could be the start of the formation of a little community here. Just, I'm thinking. Probably not, but I'm like, like, maybe
No.
maybe I'm just being hopeful.
I think it's out of the door.
Sorry.
Well, I mean, we are like a suburb of the community.
we just moved in. Everybody just moved into their new places, and
we're in the suburb.
This is the first weekend barbecue. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where we're at, but we're in the corner of the sky. How about that?
I'm getting way too ahead of myself here.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I'm gonna pop this up one more time. Leave it in the comment. If you're rewatching it, what do you want us to talk about? If we are gonna do another round of TarotTube and Tea, and wrap up. Everybody wrapped up like everything, right? And okay, we have to do a deck. We have to do a pull a card because we have to. We just have to. We are tarot people, ladies and gentlemen. We have to. So if you have a deck, I need a deck. Oh my goodness, which deck should I use? I will use the good old RWS. Yes, I'm basic. Do not come for me. I'm just gonna use, but you know what? I'm gonna use the giant one. Big one. I'm gonna use the big.
This is Aaron. Sorry, go ahead.
So let's make this quick. What is the question going to be? It's like, should we ask what is accountability?
No,
Or-
we
On the
wrap that.
Twitter, like,
No, we
I wanna-
wrap that
I'm gonna
up.
save that for later. I'm gonna save that for myself, though.
You do a video. You do a VR to this video. How about that? You do that.
All right, I will. Video response to myself and
Thanks,
everyone
Sarah.
else.
Should we do like I don't know. I don't want to do next weekend. What should we?
No, just one card, close statement.
Yeah, one card. What is the future of TarotTube? Ooh, that's big. No.
No,
No.
we already did that.
I think we did that before, didn't we? Or sort of. I
We
don't
did
know.
that.
Should we? Okay. Should we do another TarotTube and tea?
Just a no question, seriously.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm basic.
Then let's ask, what is the future of the TarotTube and Tea
No.
thing? We're
Okay.
on to 2 episodes. Like, is this gonna be a one-off thing? Is there gonna
Yes.
be more?
Yeah, that's a good
I'm
one.
hoping for more.
Oh.
The future of our little TarotTube and tea community gathering. How about that? Just
Okay.
wait, it will be like 4 tower.
I was gonna say the irony why you have 500 plus decks and you go with the Rider Waite Smith.
Guilty. You know what? You're right. I'm gonna do the opera tarot.
Oh,
Yeah.
phew. Okay,
I'm
not
fancy.
adoring.
I feel like fancy today. I'm not doing Doreen Virtue because everybody's gonna cancel my channel. Ugh. I'll do the opera.
And that's on accountability.
You are awful.
I'm actually doing an oracle, so
You see, wait, wouldn't this have made? Well, I hope this little chat here made it easier for, not only you 3, but also the viewers here that are also subscribed to me to hold me accountable. Feel comfortable, go for it.
You heard it. Call him out on everything. Every single thing.
Read me for filth, because I already am.
But if you're gonna call me out, please DM me. Thanks. let's solve our little thing privately first before you launch a nuclear bomb on my channel. Okay.
And then screenshot it and send it to me.
Oh my god.
ooh, I have my card.
Lucy is ready to close.
We need to close, girl.
Oh, that's right.
In 3 minutes. In 3 minutes. We have to close in 3 minutes. We'll keep it 90 minutes. Okay. All right. I shuffle, and TarotTube and Tea future. TarotTube and Tea future.
I think I'm gonna have to pull 2.
Oh, I got it. I don't know what it is. You got it? Everybody got it? Oops.
Yep.
Who?
Yep.
Now I gotta hold someone accountable here. Who was it that said tower card?
Did you get a towel card? Number
I'm
one.
gonna have to pull 2, you guys.
The tower?
Oh.
And then at the bottom.
What is it? It's that 7 of Cups again. I pulled for us, and I got 7 of Cups as well the other day. So
I disagree. You know why? I will show my card at the end because this card. There is a tarot god. There is a TarotTube angels watching right now. Next, Annika, what is your cards?
okay, the top and the bottom. Okay, the top is what is it?
The
I don't know.
The moon.
Okay, and the bottom is
9 of Cups.
Very watery. Also,
Okay.
it's a lighthouse. The ocean. I'm
What about you, Lucy? What
It's
do you
funny
have?
that you think the ocean. I actually pulled the Illuminated Earth Oracle and I got the Luge.
Deluge?
Deluge.
So a lot of water, flooding, emotional energy.
Wow.
But you know
Catch your
what,
floaties,
though?
y'all.
With the
you know-
moon and the 9 of Cups, yeah.
Because it's my channel, I'm gonna wrap it up. From the tower, going to the moon, all the illusion with all the water thing. What did I say? What did I say in the middle of the chat?
I can't see. What is it?
10.
Wheel of Fortune.
Oh.
I'm not.
Wheel of
I'm not
Fortune.
cheating. I am not cheating. It is the Wheel of Fortune. What goes around comes around. It is a freaking full circle. And then at the end, the last card on the deck is the Six of Cups.
Mm.
Nostalgia. I mean, it's. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. We'll have a little close-up discussion between all four of us and see. We will see. We will see all the beautiful comment down here. What are your opinion if we should keep doing it? And thank you so much for staying with us. An hour and 30. We'll have to stop because we don't want you to stay forever. Anything else?
Can we lift all of our cards before we click, just so that everyone can see? So Lucy is deluged, and then these are our cards. So
All right.
the enormous flood and all the 6 cards. That's the cards that we pulled.
Here we go. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.